Hello again, traders. Right, it is the middle of the night in the UK. In fact, it is 1 o'clock in the morning, or just 5 minutes before 1. But I'm feeling full of energy. I had a cat nap. Anyway, that's beside the point. But what the reason I'm making this video is because, well, a couple of things. It's really important. I know these are off the cuff ideas that go on with what I do, but if I don't make the videos when I think of these things, then they don't get made. That's it, simple as that. I'm not sort of a commercial channel. I'm not trying to flog anything, so my apologies for the unusual sort of presentation style that I perhaps have. But when I see things on charts that really make a difference with me, I like to make a video. So you're looking at gold at the moment, and you're looking at the M30 chart. You're looking at a trade that I took related to all the stuff we've been talking about on the big candles closing at weird times of the day. When I say weird, I mean H4 and H1s now, which is a recent thing. Again, really amazing. That looks amazing. Actually, what we're looking at now, and that wasn't the point of the video, but let's have a look. We've got 4 minutes to go to the end of the hour, so we'll have a look at this in real time. And this is a big H1. This is a perfect example of something that I would consider trading potentially short. We're approaching a clear level of old resistance. Clearly see that. There's an extreme there, you know. You don't have to, and that's another reason for this video, you don't have to get all hung up with stupid rules and stupid time and do this and do that and do this and do that. Just use your common sense and eyeball this stuff. Look, there's a high there. And, you know, as a scalper looking for targets on the left hand side, I'm also now looking for potential reversal levels for an actual trade in the opposite direction. Whereas in the past I've always looked for the longs, as it were, now I'm looking for the opposite, or the opportunities to fill gaps. Now I'm looking for an opportunity to catch a reversal. It's weird, but the two things seamlessly fit together. So at this point in the proceedings, I would normally be actually probably in a trade. So we're on H1, we've drawn a couple of old levels over here. We're watching the candle, and ideally I'd want to see no wick at all there. So I would have been in and out of a trade by now at 2 minutes to the hour. That's it, simple as that. That is a perfect example of a trade. A live trade I would have taken and be talking about on potential video now. So that move from the top of that candle that I might have entered is now over 15 pips. Okay, so we're not waiting for the close of the hour, we're waiting for a substantial candle running into an area of, in this instance, supply, and that's it. I would have taken that, and I would have been saying to you, my God, this is amazing, there's trades everywhere. And there are trades everywhere. Literally, I didn't make this video to watch that trade, but it's just happened in front of our eyes. So that's that out the way. Boom, that was another superb trade with a tiny stop. Suppose I'd entered there with that filled candle right at the end of the hour. The stop would have been up there. That's a 7 pip stop on gold. And as I said before now, well, we've got a 12 pip move there, so I'm after 5 or 6 pips. So we're too late now. That's what I mean by a wick formation. There was no wick there, and it's just formed a wick right at the top of the hour into supply. Okay, so that's what we're doing. You've just seen, effectively, apart from not hitting a button because I wasn't really focused on that particular thing, but we've just missed a perfectly good opportunity. It was a big candle in relation to everything else over here. This one here Now that didn't work. There's all sorts of reasons for that. It's the end of the day. It's not a period I'd normally want to trade. I may well have taken it had I been even slightly interested in it, because same reasons go for a potential look at a reversal there, but it's difficult. This is another reason. Let's have a look underneath that line there. Yeah, I mean, that one just didn't work. That's all there is to it. So they do fail, and it's interesting that we've got a really good quality winner there and a potential failure there. There's all sorts of other things that should be taken into account with these trades as well. Multi-time frame analysis, looking at your 15-minute, your 4-hour, your 30 minutes, and so on and so forth, because I'm doing that all the time with this stuff. So I suppose I personally may have been protected from taking that trade for a number of different reasons, but it's hard to explain them in hindsight. So you've just seen a live move that would have been a perfect trade. On this chart now, I can show you the exact trade I took on a 30-minute. That was a big 30-minute candle, but the difference, actually, that's interesting. Let's get rid of a couple of these. I'm sorry I keep jumping from subject to subject, as it were, but that's I did sort of give a caveat at the start of this. Let's get rid of these as well, tidy it up a bit. That when I get these ideas, I like to put them on tape, as it were, so delete all suspected. As you can see now, that's messing around there. But let's talk about this on this M30 chart now. So why is this exciting? Well, Aaron's indicator would have been a dotted white line, similar to what we've got here, showing the reversal, the 3CR reversal. So we already know we've got a potential, like here, if this was roles reversed, I'd be looking at it here and looking at this as a potential reversal level, just like that. And as you can see, it did reverse. This was a 7-pip move with a tiny stop there. Okay, you can see where the stop was, that little red marker there. So the stop was about 7 pips, but in fact what I would have done, I think during the trade, I would have had my stop up here somewhere around these levels here, significant old level. Not sure what that one, that's the open line, the daily open line. That's where the price opened today. That's just a little indicator I've got. So we know that's a significant level, because price will react to old levels, in particular the open. That's why it's on my chart. And as you can see, the price hit it. So I wasn't worried about that being potentially tested at this particular instance. The 3CR in itself, thank you Aaron again for the fabulous indicator. I wasn't too worried about that, because the 3CR creates fast pullbacks in the main. And unless you're watching these things in live time, just like we did with that H1 one, you will not, you just discount all of these different potential possible entries. So I'm going to flip to H1 now, because it's really a better chart to consider trading. M30s is a work in progress, as it were, but there's all sorts of, and if you go on the M1 time frame, you will see all of these potential setups look like perfect 1, 2, 3 and 2B reversals at supply and at demand. I cannot believe, after nearly 20 years doing this, I've found a method that gives dozens of trades during the day. So remember, you only need one, and you mustn't overtrade and you mustn't get overconfident, but there are numerous ways to find trades using this. So let's have a look at these H1 3CRs. So the 3CR, don't concentrate on that, just concentrate on the mechanics, because Aaron created this indicator. Goodness only knows how he managed to create it so well, but it spots 3CRs that I never would have even thought about taking before having his indicator, or even sort of without, because there's so many charts. Having an indicator that you can just flip between all these charts and it's instantly on your on your radar, as it were, is just phenomenal. So let's have a look. You've got a level of resistance here. That's a candle that creates, a down move, because this will be, even though it's a funny looking candle on the H1, this will be a trend, a downtrend on a 5-minute chart, for example. So it's a definite reversal. So when we've broken that reversal level, we get a 3CR trigger. In fact, this is a single candle, one candle, so we could call this a one candle reversal, a 1CR, and it is an outside bar. Technically, I don't think it's an engulfing bar, but don't worry about that. All you've got to worry about is this closed big. It's a big bar. It closed into old resistance on the left there. It's tested that, and look what happens. Massive reversal. Now, at the time, you wouldn't have really, in hindsight, you wouldn't really study this, especially if we didn't have Aaron's indicator on there. And you'd think, oh, well, that could have gone up and it's gone down, and who knows which way it would have taken out. But by watching these live, we're getting these moves. Just like you watched that live H1 there, which was unintentional, by the way, but fantastic for the purpose of this video. These moves, what I'm seeing is just phenomenal. So from that close and this open, that reversal there, which we were looking for already, because we've got that white dotted line that I talked about earlier, the 3CR reversal level, and lo and behold, that is from the open of that red bar, or the close of the green. That's a 34 pip move. These things are over in moments. So I'll zoom out slightly and you can see a few more examples, which is another reason I made this video. Here's a 3CR here. Big old candle into resistance on the left hand side, just a high of another H1 candle, and that tiny little move there is probably going to be about 11 or 12 pips. There, down to the bottom of that candle there, it's 8 pips, 7 pips. Less your spread, of course, you're going to be looking at a 5 pip reversal. I am happy to take, and as you can see, this may have gone up, it may have come down, but it's highly likely it came down first. I'm not going to go onto the lower time frame, the 1 minute charts in this instance. That's your job. Here we've got a 3CR to the downside. So there's a 7 or 8 pip. I'm not quite on the open there, but there's a 7 or 8 pip move to the long side. These are real money, and you've got a known area to put your stops. So just like that chart, that 30-minute one, the trade is over in 3 or 4 minutes most of the time, and this is why you'd miss them, because you just can't, back testing, looking on old historical charts, you're not gonna feel the significance of these things, which again is why this video's here. Take the scroll off. I'm determined that I make so many muff ups in these videos that so many don't get posted, so I'm determined not to muff this one up and not post it. So I'll keep it fairly succinct if I can. But there's a 3CR to the downside. Okay, that is where the candle closed. Let's get rid of that box there, sorry. That is where the candle closed. So that bounce after that 3CR to the upside is 17 pips, give or take, rounded up, 16.2 pips. That's massive. And this happens, look, there's another one. The candle closed there. You'd miss this if it wasn't for Aaron's indicator, and it's gone up 38 pips. But the bounce, even from the open to the close, as it were, or whatever, back to the 3CR is 10 pips. Massive. And these are everywhere, forgive me if I miss a few that fail or whatever, and I'm not cherry picking them, but 3CR down, you got to do your homework yourself. That little bounce there is 6 or 7 pips. Tiny. This is not a long candle, not a big distance, so you'd probably discount that one. It's not a big candle either. So, you know, we're just picking these randomly based on Aaron's indicator. So that there is a long 3CR actually, and all it's done is just pulled straight back. So once again, I'm not going into the technicals of what a 3CR is and what the indicator is showing us. Let's just use Aaron's indicator as it stands. So we don't know whether this one went up before it went down, but it's highly likely a big H1 there into supply. It's highly likely that came down first. You've got to do your homework and see whether the M1 looks right. Okay, that's the point of this video. Massive candle, 3CR again. What do we expect to happen? We expect, and this is a known attribute of a 3CR. It is a break of supply on the left hand side, that or if you want to call it support or resistance, should I say. It's a break of resistance that is going to be tested as support before it continues on up. Simple as that. So, you know, watch these live. That's a 26 pip move. Big candle, tiny stop above the high. You know, look to the left hand side and properly to the left hand side, not just here. Look at that there. That's the level I would have drawn my level on, and we can clearly see what's happened there. It's broken that high there, and you're always looking for, you know, go left, go left, go left. This, I've talked about this, old 3CRs are massive levels of battlegrounds, if you like. They're levels of fights of supply and demand. So you've got a massive candle there. I've drawn a few levels on the left hand side, 3 in fact. That high, that's the nearest one, then the flip zone, and then the flip zone, in other words the 3CR areas. And lo and behold, we've had our pullback, that massive pullback to test that level, and then up it goes. So this is what I'm seeing. There's nothing over here. This is all I can see is a big H1 candle. Yet that's an opportunity to sell. I can see the 3CR, and I can see this on the left hand side. Simple as that. There's no other ulterior motives, as it were. That's a non-starter. That's a tiny candle, you know. So whereas I was just showing you all candles just now, we should really filter out all the small ones and go for the big ones. But there's no denying that a 3CR will cause a pullback. And if you've got something that agrees with it on that side, but stick to the best ones, guys. Stick to the best ones. You know, this here, we don't know whether that tail was caused first, or whether it reversed and then dropped down. We do know that it opened and it closed higher. That's because that makes it a green candle. But regardless, this has jumped straight into a massive move, straight into a supply area. It's highly likely that it bounced first. I would have been watching that in real time, and there probably would have been a good trade there too. So unless you watch this real time, guys, and that's the point of this video, you will miss, and you will, as I have all these years, I've missed opportunities. Simple thing like this: we've broken through the 89 EMA, we've closed into supply. That's a 3CR there, and that tiny little tail there. So this is what we would call virtually a wickless candle. At this point here, all we've got is a flat topped candle. Then it's pulled back to this to the close area there, and then it's potentially pulled back again to test the 89 EMA, that pink thing. And if we look at the distance between the two, you're looking at, holy shamoly, that's the whole point of this. You're looking at a 13 pip move. That looks absolutely nondescript there, worthless. But that's a day's living, a week's living, a month's living. One trade a month. Just take that one trade a month, and you can go and play golf for the rest of the month. Massive 3CR here, old area of supply here, and tiny, effectively a non-movement to the long side, because we might even have got into the trade there, as you just saw in that recent gold. And then from the high to their 40 pips, 40 pips in minutes with next to no drawdown. Okay, I think I've made my point, guys. You got to go and do your homework now on these charts. Make sure you thank Aaron for the fantastic 3CR indicator. Look at that, there's a 3CR massive H1 down. It's a, you know, that's a traditionally called a sort of hammer candle or whatnot, and even that, you know, just straight reverse straight away. So that's it. That's all I wanted to make the point on this video, guys. Trades are everywhere, and use Aaron's indicator and thank him very much for making it freely for you. Thanks again, Aaron. Bye for now.